All right, welcome back to the deep dive. I think we can all agree that as entrepreneurs, especially these days, we're always juggling so many different things. It never really stops, does it?
It really doesn't.
Yeah,
There's always something demanding our attention, especially as women leading businesses, I think. It's a unique kind of juggling act.
it really is. So today we're going to dive into a book that gets this. It's called Atomic Habits for Women Entrepreneurs. Build unbreakable business systems in 2025. And it uses the James Clear Action Plan. Have you gotten a chance to check this one out yet?
Absolutely. It's been making waves, and for good reason, I think. It tackles a really important issue head on.
I agree. So, our goal today is to help you, our amazing listeners, really extract those golden nuggets, the actionable strategies that can help you build smarter systems for your business, the kind of systems that fuel sustainable growth and, let's be honest, help us stress a little less, right?
Stress less is the dream. I think we all resonate with that.
Right. So, this isn't just a rehash of atomic habits. This is about applying those principles in a way that truly works for women founders like you facing the very real challenges of the current landscape.
Yeah, the book acknowledges that we're often dealing with a different set of expectations and, frankly, constraints. Like time, for instance, is often a much more limited resource.
So true. And so many of our listeners are juggling, building their business with family life, maybe caring for kids or even aging parents. So building effective systems, it's not just a nice to have, it's essential. It frees up our most precious resources.
It's about reclaiming your time and energy.
Exactly. Time and energy. And that allows us to focus on what truly matters, the big picture strategy, those crucial client relationships, the innovation that keeps our business thriving.
It's about moving from that constant state of reaction to really proactively shaping your business.
Yeah.
I love that.
Me too. So let's jump into our first takeaway, which I think sets the stage beautifully. It's this idea of prioritizing the building of systems over simply chasing after goals. The book talks about becoming the sustainable founder, which really resonated with me.
I like that phrase too, the sustainable founder. It implies a long game, which I think is what we all should be in.
It is a long game, isn't it? And the idea is that we don't magically achieve those ambitious goals. We rise to the level of our systems or fall, depending on how those systems are structured.
That's a powerful way to put it. We often focus so much on the desired outcome, right? The revenue, the subscribers, the whatever metric. But the engine that gets us there, the systems, sometimes we don't give them enough attention.
It's so true. And think about it. We set these exciting goals, launch that new program, hit that revenue target, but without the right processes in place, it can feel like we're constantly swimming upstream.
It becomes exhausting and honestly a bit disillusioning after a while.
It really does. So the focus needs to shift. We need to become process-oriented, not just outcome-focused.
It's a subtle but really important mindset shift.
I agree. And think about those pain points in your business right now, the areas where things consistently feel like a struggle. Maybe it's client onboarding, content creation, or just staying on top of those dreaded finances.
Oh, the finances? I think we all have a bit of a love-hate relationship with those spreadsheets.
We really do. So instead of just saying, I want to onboard 5 new clients this month, we need to establish a clear and efficient onboarding system.
One that makes that outcome more likely and less stressful. Right?
Exactly. And the book uses a great example, Whitney Wolfe Herd and the incredible success of Bumble. Now, the initial idea was brilliant, innovative, but their sustained success wasn't just about the idea itself, it was about the systems they built.
Scalable and replicable systems.
Right. Systems for acquiring users, ensuring safety, and scaling the platform. And I'm sure they're still refining those systems for 2025.
I bet they are. Any company that's growing is constantly evolving its systems.
Makes sense, right? So for you listening right now, I want you to think, what's one area this week where you feel that inefficiency or maybe a little dread?
Be honest. It could be your social media planning, responding to inquiries, whatever feels a bit chaotic.
Yep, that one thing that makes you want to avoid checking your email. Now, the book suggests a simple 4-step approach.
4 steps. I like it. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, right? So first, identify that one specific area.
We're not trying to overhaul everything at once, just one area to focus on.
Right. Step 2, map out the current process or the lack of a process. Use sticky notes, a document, whatever works for you.
Just get it out of your head and onto something you can see.
Exactly. Where are the gaps? What relies solely on your memory, which, let's face it, isn't always reliable.
Oh, especially not when we're juggling so many things.
Step 3, pinpoint the biggest bottleneck, where it gets stuck, causing delays and frustration.
Usually it's that one step that just makes you sigh every time you have to deal with it.
I know that sigh. Okay, step 4. Define one tiny, almost ridiculously small improvement you can make.
Tiny, I like that. It feels manageable.
Manageable, right. So the book gives some great examples. If you're constantly answering the same questions via email, create a standardized template right in Gmail. If expense tracking feels overwhelming, set a recurring calendar reminder with a direct link to your accounting software.
So simple, but so effective when you actually implement it.
It's all about making that system just 1% better.
And those 1% improvements, they really add up over time.
They really do. Okay, so let's move to our second takeaway, which builds on this idea of systems, the law of least effort.
I love this one. Make it easy. That should be our mantra.
It really should. The book talks about leveraging the tools available in 2025 to make our workflows flow. I mean, for us busy entrepreneurs, friction in our systems, it's a drain on time and motivation. Really.
Big time. It's like this invisible force that just sucks the energy out of you.
It does. Think about it. If your client portal is clunky, people are going to avoid it. If your content approval process is a mess, deadlines get missed. The book points to online entrepreneurs like Amy Porterfield.
Oh, she's amazing. Such a great example of someone who's built a really successful business.
Right. She prioritizes a smooth student experience in her courses. We need to apply that to our internal systems as well.
Treat ourselves like our most valued clients.
Exactly. So how do we actually engineer this ease into our workflows? Well, the book highlights 4 areas to focus on. First, simplify your tech stack.
This is a good one to start with. Sometimes we just have too many tools.
We do. So it's time for a tech audit. Are you using too many tools that don't talk to each other?
And some of them might even be doing the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can you consolidate, leverage integrations, maybe connect your scheduling tool with your CRM or your payment processor with your accounting software?
All about eliminating those manual tasks and data transfers.
Absolutely. Second, embrace the power of templates. Seriously, template everything you can.
Oh, this has been a game changer for me.
Right. Stop reinventing the wheel for recurring tasks. Social media graphics, proposals, video outlines, create those templates. Canva, Google Docs, Loom. Those are your friends.
They really are. Templates save me so much time and energy.
And they ensure consistency, which is so important for branding. Okay, third, automate your client touch points.
This doesn't mean being impersonal, though.
No, it's about using tech strategically. Your email marketing platform, like ConvertKit or Flowdesk or your CRM, can handle those routine but crucial interactions.
Like welcome sequences, appointment reminders, those kinds of things.
Exactly. It frees up your time, and your clients still get a positive experience. Fourth, batch similar tasks together.
I'm a big fan of batching.
It really works, doesn't it? Instead of constantly switching gears, dedicate blocks of time for specific types of work. Maybe a finance Friday, a marketing Monday.
Helps you get in the zone.
It really does. Minimizes that mental drain of context switching. All right, so as we move through 2025, let's make our energy work for us, not against us. Let's streamline those systems, make them work harder so we don't have to.
Love it. Work smarter, not harder. For us.
Exactly. Now, let's move to our third takeaway, which is all about our environment. The book calls this becoming the 2025 focused CEO.
Our environment plays such a huge role in our productivity, whether we realize it or not.
It really does. Just think about your workday. Is your phone, with all its notifications, the first thing you see? Is your computer homepage a distraction zone?
Mine used to be. It was a recipe for procrastination.
Right. And we know multitasking doesn't really work. So creating a focused environment is key. The book mentions Marie Forleo, who's a big advocate for intentionality. I bet her work environment is set up to support deep focus.
It makes you think about your own workspace. Where are you working? And is it really supporting your best work?
So true. How do we design this high-performance environment? The book has some great suggestions. First, create a digital command center. Set your browser homepage to your central business dashboard.
So you see that first thing, the most important data.
Exactly. Make checking your business's vital signs the default action.
Makes it much more likely that you'll actually do it too. Out of sight, out of mind, as they say.
Right. Second, prepare for tomorrow, tonight. At the end of your workday, set yourself up for success. Lay out materials, open software, draft the first sentence of an email.
Almost like you're leaving breadcrumbs for your future self.
That's a great way to put it. You're making it easier to start the next day.
I've started doing this,
Yeah.
and it's been a game changer.
Right. Third, manage that digital noise. Use focus modes. Set communication boundaries. We need those blocks of uninterrupted time.
It's so hard to get anything meaningful done when you're constantly being interrupted.
And finally, Create dedicated spaces for recurring tasks. Maybe a money corner, a growth corner.
I like that, even if it's just a shelf or a digital folder.
It's about those visual cues. They can help shift your mindset, help you get into the flow.
I'm going to try that. Visual cues, I can do that.
So in 2025, let's be intentional about our environment. Let's make it work for us. Okay, let's move to our final takeaway, the 2-minute rule.
This is one of my favorites. So good for combating procrastination.
It really is, because sometimes just thinking about building and maintaining systems, it feels overwhelming.
It does. It's like, I have to create an employee handbook. When am I going to find the time?
Exactly, and that's where the 2-minute rule comes in. When you start a new habit or a system-related task, it should take less than 2 minutes to do.
Such a simple idea, but it's so powerful.
It's brilliant, really. It bypasses that resistance we often feel.
Makes it feel less daunting, more approachable.
Right. And this is so important for us women entrepreneurs because we're constantly at risk of burnout. Sustainable success, it's not about those massive overhauls. It's about consistent effort.
And those small, consistent efforts are much easier to maintain in the long run.
Exactly. The book is the example of Fenty, Rihanna's brand. Their continued success, it requires constant evolution.
And applying the 2-minute rule might mean just reviewing one sales metric instead of doing a full data analysis.
Exactly. It's about making the initial interaction feel manageable.
Lowering the barrier to entry. And, often once you start, you just keep going.
So how do we create our 2-minute system implementation plan? The book has some great examples. So let's say your task is to improve your client onboarding packet. Your 2-minute rule start, simply open the current file.
Open the file. That's it. I can do that.
You can do that, right? If you need to plan next month's social media content, just write down one content pillar idea. You need to update your website portfolio, save one new project image to the folder.
Tiny actions, but they get the ball rolling.
They do. And then to make it even easier, stack these 2-minute tasks with existing habits.
Habit stacking, it's such a brilliant strategy.
It is. So for example, right after my coffee, I'll review my top 3 KPIs, or before I close my laptop, I'll organize my desktop.
Make it automatic, almost unconscious.
And remember, the goal is consistency. Celebrate those small wins, because those small wins, they lead to big results over time.
I'm a big believer in celebrating the small wins. It keeps you motivated.
So in 2025, let's protect our energy, use the 2-minute rule, and make those system tasks feel less daunting.
Make them feel almost effortless.
Okay, so just to recap, we've covered some key strategies from Atomic Habits for Women Entrepreneurs that are tailored for success in 2025. We talked about prioritizing systems, making them easy to execute, curating our environment for focus, and using the 2-minute rule for consistent progress.
All about those small, smart improvements that, when done consistently, create massive results.
Absolutely. And here's a final thought for you. What if you consistently applied just one of these principles to your business each week for the rest of 2025?
Think about the transformation that could happen.
It's pretty powerful, right? So which atomic shift will you commit to making first?
I hope our listeners are thinking about that right now.
I hope so too. All right, that's it for the deep dive. We'll see you next time.
Until then, happy system building.